When web piecing, I think it's helpful to think of our blocks in rows and columns. Traditionally, we would piece blocks together and then sew the rows to each other. In web piecing, we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to chain piece the blocks to each other in columns and then sew the rows together. So if we were to number our columns and our rows as 1, 2, and 3, we're going to sew columns 1 and 2 together, chain piecing, so not snipping our threads in between. And then we'll add column 3 onto it. So I'll take this to the machine and show you what that looks like. All right, we have column 1 and column 2 sewn to each other, and I chain pieced these so there's a thread connecting them, and we're not going to cut that thread. We need that later. Now we'll chain piece column 3 onto the edge of these blocks, again chain piecing it and not snipping that thread. The third column is sewn on, and this is the web that gives web piecing its name. This is where the magic of web piecing begins. I'm going to sew row 1 to row 2. I have not yet ironed these seams, and I'm not going to use pins. I'm going to let the seams nest up against each other and form those nice tidy points while I'm sewing. And I'll show you what that looks like at the machine. Right, I'm sewing 2 rows together, and the blocks are attached to each other because of the way that we chain piece them. So I don't need to worry about making sure that I'm in the right place or that my row is oriented the right way. I know this is exactly the way that it should be. And instead of pressing beforehand, I'm going to just finger press a little bit now. So I'm going to let this seam fold towards the block that's closest to me and let this seam go the other way. I'm going to just use my finger and thumb to nestle those seams right up against each other. So they're nesting and it's going to lay nice and flat. I'm going to hold that seam in my hand or hold it with one finger down against the sewing machine, whatever's more comfortable, right up until I get to the presser foot. And then I'm going to sew right over it. No pin necessary. All right, our block is together. Look at those nice tidy points. And on the back, now is the time to press those seams, either open or to the side, whatever you prefer. Congratulations, you've web pieced a block.